Stop scrolling. Because if you found this message, it's not random. Before this week ends, something is about to shift in your favor, and you need to hear this right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. Because there is a silent movement happening behind the scenes of your life that you cannot see yet, but it is already aligning things, already moving people, already breaking delays, already opening doors that once felt permanently shut, and the reason you've been feeling different lately, the reason things have felt slow, confusing, even frustrating at times, is because everything had to pause before this shift could happen. Everything had to be rearranged, everything had to be prepared for what is about to come into your life, and you may not understand it yet, but this is not a coincidence, this is not luck, this is alignment, this is divine timing stepping in when human timing failed you, and before this week ends, something you thought would take months will suddenly move, something that was blocked will suddenly clear, something that felt impossible will suddenly become real, and it will happen so unexpectedly that even you will have to pause and realize that this was not you're doing alone, this was something greater working for you, something unseen stepping in at the perfect moment, and the truth is, you were never being ignored, you were never forgotten, you were being positioned, carefully, intentionally, and sometimes painfully, because growth does not always feel good, and preparation often looks like delay, but what you thought was delay was actually protection. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection, and what you thought was the end was actually a setup for this exact moment, the moment where everything begins to turn in your favor. And yes, I know there were nights when you questioned everything, when you wondered if things would ever change, when you felt like you were putting in effort but seeing no results, when you felt like others were moving ahead while you were stuck, but what you didn't see was that your path was being handled differently. Your timing was being protected differently, because what is coming into your life requires a stronger version of you, a wiser version of you, a more patient version of you, and now that version is ready, now that version can handle what is about to shift, and before this week ends, you will start to notice it, not all at once, not in a loud dramatic way, but in subtle, undeniable signs, a message you didn't expect, an opportunity you thought was gone, a conversation that changes everything, a sudden clarity that removes confusion, a door that opens without force, and you will feel it in your spirit first, a calmness, a knowing, a quiet confidence that something has changed, even if the world around you hasn't fully caught up yet, because the shift always happens internally before it becomes visible externally, and once it starts, it cannot be stopped. Once alignment begins, it continues. Once favor is activated, it spreads into every area of your life. And this is why you had to go through what you went through, this is why things didn't happen earlier, because if they had, you would not have been ready to sustain them, you would not have been able to protect them, you would not have recognized their true value, but now you will, now you can, and now you're about to receive in a way that is different, in a way that is lasting, in a way that doesn't disappear overnight, and the people who doubted you, the ones who didn't see your worth, the ones who overlooked you, they will not understand how things suddenly started working for you, they will not understand how doors began opening, how opportunities started finding you, how your energy shifted, but you will know, you will remember these moments, these quiet days where nothing seemed to happen, these silent battles you fought alone. These times you chose to keep going even when it was hard, even when it didn't make sense, and that is why this shift is yours, that is why this favor is yours, because you didn't quit, because you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away, because you believed even when you didn't see results, and now everything is responding to that energy, everything is aligning with that persistence, everything is moving toward you in ways you cannot fully see yet, but you will, very soon, before this week ends. And when it happens, don't doubt it, don't question it. Don't push it away thinking it's too good to be true. Receive it, accept it, step into it, because this is what you've been preparing for, this is what all the waiting was about, this is the moment where things begin to turn, and once they do, they will not go back to how they were before, and when this shift begins to show itself in your life, it won't ask for permission, it won't wait for validation. It will move with a force that feels both unfamiliar and undeniable at the same time, because the same areas where you once experienced resistance will suddenly start to feel lighter, smoother, almost as if something invisible has been removed from your path, and the things that once drained you will no longer have the same power over you. The same people who ignored you will start noticing you, the same situations that stressed you will start resolving themselves without you chasing them, and you will sit there for a moment trying to understand how everything started changing so quickly. But the truth is, it didn't start now, it started the moment you decided not to give up, it started the moment you chose to keep moving even when there was no visible progress. It started in the unseen long before it appeared in the seen, and now you are stepping into the visible results of what was being built quietly behind the scenes all along, and this is where many people get it wrong, because when things finally start shifting, they begin to doubt it, they begin to question whether it will last, they begin to expect it to fall apart the way things did before, but this time is different. This time the foundation is stronger, this time the alignment is real, this time the doors opening for you are not temporary, they are intentional, they are meant to lead you into something greater, something that matches the effort, the patience, and the resilience you've shown, and yes, there will still be moments where things feel uncertain, moments where you don't fully understand what's happening. But that's because you are entering a space you've never been in before, you are stepping into a level you haven't experienced yet, and growth always feels unfamiliar at first, success always feels strange before it feels normal, and this is your moment to embrace it instead of resisting it, to trust it instead of questioning it, because the more you accept this shift, the more it expands. The more you walk into it with confidence, the more opportunities will align with you, and you will begin to notice something powerful happening within you as well. Your mindset will start changing, your reactions will start changing, the way you see yourself will start changing, and that internal transformation is the key to everything, because once you change internally, your external reality has no choice but to reflect that change, and suddenly, things that once felt out of reach will start coming closer. Things that once seemed impossible will start becoming realistic, and things that once required too much effort will start flowing with less resistance, and it won't mean that everything becomes easy overnight, but it will mean that everything becomes possible in a way it wasn't before, and that shift in possibility is what changes everything. Because when you start believing that something can actually happen for you, you begin to move differently, you begin to speak differently, you begin to carry yourself differently, and the world responds to that energy. Opportunities respond to that energy, people respond to that energy, and before this week ends, you will start to see clear evidence of this in your life, not just in one area, but in multiple areas at once, because when favor activates, it doesn't stay limited, it spreads, it touches your work, your finances, your relationships, your confidence, your clarity, and even your peace of mind. And you will realize that what's happening is bigger than one breakthrough. It's a chain reaction. It's a complete shift in direction. It's your life moving onto a different path entirely, one that was always meant for you but had to wait until you were ready to walk it, and now you are, whether you fully realize it or not, you are ready, and this is why things are about to accelerate. This is why delays are about to turn into movement. This is why confusion is about to turn into clarity. And this is why the same situations that once held you back will no longer have the same control over you. Because you are not the same person anymore, you don't think the same, you don't react the same, you don't settle the same, and that internal shift is what unlocks the external results. And as this continues, you will also start to notice something else. Certain people will begin to distance themselves, certain energies will no longer align with you, certain environments will start to feel uncomfortable, and that is not loss. That is alignment correcting itself, that is your life making space for what actually belongs to you at this next level, and it may feel strange at first. It may even feel a little uncomfortable, but it is necessary, because you cannot step into a new phase of your life while holding on to things from the old one, and this process of release is part of the shift. This process of letting go is part of the favor, because everything leaving your life right now is making room for something better. Something more aligned, something more stable, and something more meaningful. And as you continue moving forward, trusting the process even when you don't fully understand it, you will reach a moment where everything finally makes sense, where you can look back and see why things had to happen the way they did, why the delays were necessary, why the struggles were important, why the waiting period was not wasted time but preparation time, and in that moment, you will feel a level of clarity and confidence that you've never felt before, because you will realize that nothing was random. Nothing was pointless, everything was leading you to this shift, this moment, this turning point in your life where things finally begin to move in your favor in a way that feels real, lasting, and undeniable. And as this shift continues to unfold, there is something else happening that you may not have fully realized yet, something deeper, something more intense, because it's not just about things starting to work in your favor. It's also about truth being revealed, masks falling off, intentions becoming clear, and the people who once moved in silence around you, the ones who doubted you, underestimated you, or quietly watched you struggle, are about to witness a version of you they never expected to see. And this is where everything begins to feel different, because it's no longer just internal, it becomes visible, undeniable, impossible to ignore. And the same energy that once tried to hold you back will no longer have access to you in the same way, because you are no longer available for it. You have outgrown it, you have moved beyond it, and whether they admit it or not, they will feel that shift. They will notice that something about you is no longer the same, the way you carry yourself, the way you respond, the way you no longer react to things that once affected you, and that change will speak louder than anything you could ever say, because real transformation does not need to announce itself. It shows itself through presence, through results, through undeniable growth, and this is where the balance begins to restore itself, not through revenge, not through confrontation, but through elevation, because your rise becomes the exposure, your progress becomes the answer, your peace becomes the proof that everything they expected to break you actually built you, and that realization will hit them in ways you may never even see directly, because some people will never admit what they see, but they will feel it, They will recognize it, they will understand that you are no longer in the same position you once were, and this is why you must stay focused, because when things begin to shift this powerfully, distractions also try to appear, old patterns may try to return, familiar situations may try to pull you back into the version of yourself you've already outgrown. But this is your moment to choose differently. This is your moment to stand firm in who you are becoming, not who you used to be, because everything about this shift is pushing you forward, not backward. Everything about this moment is designed to elevate you, not test you in the same ways as before. And yes, there will be moments where you feel the urge to look back, to revisit old emotions, to question past situations, but you have to understand that your power now lies in moving forward, not in revisiting what has already been released from your life. Because what's ahead of you is far greater than anything behind you, and this is where your focus becomes your greatest asset, because the more you focus on where you are going, the faster everything aligns to meet you there, and before this week ends, you will start to see clear signs that confirm this shift is real, not just in your thoughts, not just in your feelings, but in your actual reality, situations resolving, opportunities appearing, people responding differently, respect increasing, clarity becoming stronger, and you will realize that this is not temporary motivation, this is a real transition, this is your life moving into a different phase, and with that comes a different level of responsibility, a different level of awareness, a different level of discipline, because the same mindset that got you through the struggle is now being upgraded to sustain the success, and that means letting go of doubt, letting go of fear, letting go of the need for constant validation, because where you are going, you won't always have immediate confirmation. You will have to trust the process, trust the alignment, trust that what is happening is leading you exactly where you need to be, even if every step doesn't make sense in the moment. And this is where your confidence becomes unshakable, not because everything is perfect, but because you know that everything is working, even when it's still unfolding, and that level of confidence changes everything. It changes how you show up, how you speak, how you make decisions, how you move through life, and people will feel that, opportunities will respond to that, and your environment will begin to reflect that, and suddenly, the same person who once felt overlooked will start becoming undeniable. The same voice that once felt unheard will start gaining attention. The same effort that once went unnoticed will start producing visible results, and this is the moment where everything connects, where everything clicks, where everything begins to make sense, and you realize that nothing you went through was wasted, nothing you experienced was pointless, everything had a purpose, everything had a role in shaping you into the person who is now ready to receive this level of shift, this level of favor, this level of alignment, and as this continues, you will step into a space where you no longer need to prove anything to anyone, because your results will speak, your growth will speak, your presence will speak, and the people who once doubted you will no longer matter in the same way, because you will be too focused on where you are going to even look back at where you came from, and that is the real power of this shift. It doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It transforms your mindset, your energy, your direction, and once that transformation is complete, there is no going back to the old version of your life, there is no returning to the same limitations, there is no shrinking yourself to fit into spaces you've already outgrown, because you are stepping into something bigger now, something greater, something that was always meant for you, and before this week ends, you will feel it, you will see it, you will know it without a doubt, that something has changed. Something has shifted, and your life is no longer moving in the same direction it once was, and now you've reached this moment, the part where everything you've been feeling, everything you've been sensing, everything you couldn't fully explain before finally begins to come together, because this right here is your confirmation, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by alignment, because messages like this don't reach people who aren't ready, they don't find people who aren't about to step into something different, and the fact that you're still here, still listening, still connected to this message means something inside you already knows that a shift is happening, even if you can't fully see it yet, even if it hasn't completely shown up in your reality yet, you can feel it, and that feeling is not random. That feeling is your awareness catching up with what has already started moving in your life, because before anything changes around you, it changes within you first. And that's exactly what's been happening. You've been changing, your mindset has been evolving, your tolerance for certain things has been decreasing, your vision has been getting clearer, and even though it may have felt uncomfortable at times, even though it may have felt like things were falling apart instead of coming together, what was actually happening was a separation between what no longer belongs in your life and what is about to enter it, and that process is never easy, because letting go, even when it's necessary, still requires strength, still requires trust, still requires you to move forward without having all the answers, but now you're starting to see why it had to happen this way, now you're starting to understand why certain doors had to close, why certain people had to leave, why certain plans didn't work out the way you expected them to, because if they had, you wouldn't be here right now, you wouldn't be stepping into this version of your life. You wouldn't be ready for what is about to come next, and that's the part that changes everything, because once you realize that everything was leading you here, you stop resisting, you stop questioning, you stop doubting, and you start allowing, you start trusting, you start moving with confidence instead of fear, and that shift in energy is what unlocks everything else. Because when you align with the process instead of fighting it, things begin to flow in ways you didn't think were possible, and before this week ends, you will have your sign, your undeniable, clear, real sign. That something has shifted in your favor, and it won't be something you have to force yourself to believe, it won't be something you have to overthink or analyze, it will be obvious, it will be real. It will be something that makes you pause for a moment and realize that things are no longer the same, that something has changed, that something has finally started moving in the direction you've been waiting for, and in that moment, everything you've been through will make sense, the waiting, the confusion, the delays, the setbacks, all of it will connect, all of it will feel like it was leading to this exact point in your life. And that realization will bring a level of peace you haven't felt in a long time, because you'll finally understand that you were never stuck. You were never forgotten, you were never left behind, you were being guided, you were being prepared, you were being positioned for something that required you to become who you are now, and now that you are here, now that you've reached this version of yourself, everything else is ready to meet you at that level. Everything else is ready to align with you, and this is where your new chapter truly begins, not someday, not in the future, but now, in this moment, because the shift you've been waiting for is no longer ahead of you, it has already started, it is already in motion, it is already unfolding, and your only job now is to step into it fully, to trust it completely, to stop looking back at what didn't work and start focusing on what is beginning to work now, because what is ahead of you is not just better, it is aligned, it is stable, it is real, and it is yours. And no one can take what is meant for you, no delay can stop what is already in motion, no doubt can cancel what has already been decided for your life, and that is why this moment matters, that is why this message matters, because it is reminding you, confirming to you, that before this week ends, something will shift in your favor, something will move, something will open, something will change, and when it does, don't hesitate, don't shrink, don't question whether you deserve it, step into it, own it, accept it. Because this is what you've been preparing for, this is what all the waiting was for, this is what all the growth was building toward, and now it's here, now it's happening, now it's real. And this is just the beginning.